Hey everybody, my name is Kyla. Welcome to my channel where I talk about the stock market and the economy amongst other things. Today we're talking about OpenAI. We're talking about what happened, what could happen, what might happen, and basically this is meant to be a video that if your aunt asks you at Thanksgiving what's happening, you can be like, listen, here's what you need to know. So it's just a general foundational understanding of what happened and a couple of speculations about what might happen. It's an ongoing story, so who knows what could happen in the next 6, 12, 24 hours. But the history of OpenAI. OpenAI was founded in 2015 as a nonprofit dedicated to the creation of artificial general intelligence. This is meant to be technology that replaces the most economically valuable work, something that's very important to have some frameworks around. The nonprofit was developed as something that will benefit humanity as a whole. It was founded by a team that includes Sam Altman and Elon Musk. And the goal was to advance digital intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity and act as an extension of individual human wills and in the spirit of liberty as broadly and evenly distributed as is possible safely. OpenAI was developed with this heart of gold, the idea that, okay, we're not going to focus on profits, we're going to focus on developing something safely, we're going to focus on developing something that isn't for shareholders but is for everybody. And they were like, okay, yikes, we're going to add a capped profit model, a subsidiary with a capped profit model that could raise money, attract top talent, and build commercial products. But this nonprofit board did maintain control. And the nonprofit board is composed of co-founder and chief research scientist Ilya, Quora founder Adam D'Angelo, entrepreneur Tasha McCauley, who's also married to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Helen Toner, director of strategy at the Georgetown Center for Security and Emerging Technology. And so in a nonprofit structure, this board has final say even though they're not elected. Sam Altman and Greg Brockman were also on the board, but they both got booted over the weekend when all this stuff went down because the nonprofit board can make any decisions that they want. And so for them, they're very focused on advancing AI safely and not focusing on the profit model because it's a non-profit company. But in order to make AGI, it requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of computing power. And so they developed this for-profit model to a certain extent, took on some money. Microsoft invested $13 billion. Microsoft also has a 49% stake. It seems to this board of 4 people that the company was moving in a direction that they were not super stoked on. They potentially, right, it's all speculation, hypotheticals, thought that Sam Altman was a little bit too focused on the profit model, a little bit focused on moving too fast and breaking things versus actually being like, okay, this is how we can be intentional about developing this thing that could, eat us. AI could eat us. How do we be careful about that? And so it seems like the board had enough on Friday of Sam Altman. On Friday, the board made a decision to fire Sam Altman. Nobody knew that this was happening. None of the investors knew. Microsoft didn't know because the investors in Microsoft don't get a seat on the nonprofit board. So they don't get a say. And so the board releases a statement saying Sam Altman, he's been booted. He's out of here because he hasn't been candid in his communications. Everyone was like, what does that mean? But there had been factions inside of OpenAI for a long time. There were people like Sam Altman who were techno-optimists. They were like full speed ahead. And then there were people like Ilya, who Elon Musk actually brought on as somebody who was going to go slow. Elon Musk at the time believed that AI should move slowly, so Ilya came on, and his whole thing is like, how do we move slowly, cautiously, make sure that this is the best? So you have the people who are all about moving slow, and then you have the people who are all about moving fast, and there was an internal clash between these two. And on Friday, that all came to a head with this firing of Sam Altman, and also Greg, who was the president of OpenAI. They were like, okay, see you later too, dude. And so everyone was like, oh my gosh, I got the notification on Friday. I was walking around New York with one of my friends and I look at my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Because number one, it was a very abrupt way to fire somebody. It was not communicated very well. Sam Altman didn't know what was happening. Microsoft didn't know what was happening. Investors didn't know what was happening. So the whole Friday afternoon, everyone was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What's going on? Why is this going down the way it is? And so then it seems like Microsoft got to the board and they were like, okay, listen, we provide you 2 very important things. We provide you power and also we provide you money. What are you doing? And the board was like, well, we are the nonprofit board. We can make the decisions that we want, but we hear you, Sam Altman. How do you think about coming back? Do you feel good about that? You want to be CEO again? So the board, Sam Altman, seemed to have like a little bit of a back and forth. And then it was announced that Emmett Shears, the founder of Twitch, would be the new OpenAI CEO, replacing Sam Altman. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, you were supposed to reinstate him. And so Microsoft, Satya Nadella, had been tweeting through this whole thing. And he was like, okay, we're just going to take Sam Altman with. We're going to take him on. We're going to just do everything that he was doing with you all inside of Microsoft. And that works out great for Microsoft, right? Microsoft all of a sudden has Sam Altman, who is the leader of this company. Greg Brockman followed him. And the board of directors is left with 700 employees who are really mad at them. They're not happy. I think it was 710 out of 770 employees signed this document saying that they were not going to work at OpenAI anymore unless Sam Altman was reinstated as CEO. So this board of directors made this decision, and it seems like they made the decision based on this idea that there was too much of a focus on profitability and not enough focus on safety. And what's sort of ironic is Microsoft is a for-profit company, one of the biggest in the world. The fate of OpenAI is going to be this for-profit company that will be full steam ahead. They're going to have a huge data flywheel, collect huge profits. They're going to scale the AI because they have the technology to do this without any sort of non-profit governance. Satya Nadella at Microsoft has now been able to acqui-hire Sam Altman as well as 700 of like the top engineers, all because the board was trying to preserve AI safety. But ironically, the board might have made AI safety not a thing anymore. Not that Microsoft won't be careful, but now it's going to be full steam ahead. It's going to be for profit. And it's just, Ilya actually switched. He signed this letter saying bring Sam Altman back because I think it went in a direction that he didn't want it to go. And so you have these two groups, right? You have the people who are like worried, they're worried about the future, and then you have the group that's like just full steam ahead. The reason that Ilya might have switched was because 10 years of work just gone to Clippy, right? All this hard work, all this focus on advancing humanity is with a company that humanity is probably not top of mind for them. There's this other idea of infinite paper clips. So part of the reason that people are really careful with AI is because it, like, let's say that you have an AI developing paper clips that just produces mass paper clips. It could decide that the best way to produce paper clips is to go scorch earth. You know, nothing should exist besides things that are used to make paper clips. And so this infinite paper clips story is told as a hesitant, a cautionary tale around AI. But this infinite paper clips thing is funny because, you know, it's been back and forth. Is Sam Altman CEO, Sam Altman not CEO? And they're talking about advancing for humanity. And I think that's great and awesome and good, but you can't even figure out the humans on your team, right? And I just think there's some sort of lesson in there. There's this quote in The Atlantic that I really liked. AI's future is being determined by an ideological fight between wealthy techno-optimists, zealous doomers, and multi-billion-dollar companies. The fate of OpenAI might hang in the balance, but the company's conceit, the openness it is named after, showed its limits. The future, it seems, it will be decided behind closed doors. It was probably inevitable. Microsoft won. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you like this video, if your aunt liked this video, go ahead and like it. Thumbs up, subscribe, whatever you like. And I hope that you all are doing okay. And I'll be back very soon.